Hello, everybody. I'm Captain Nitin Joshi, Behavior Transformation Coach and Leadership Development Partner. Friends, in my previous video, I told you about examining your self talk or monitoring your self talk, and I said that you need to examine and find out the origin of that self talk. How exactly this self talk became my self talk? How exactly did I come to believe in this thing about myself? And I said that if you find after this examination that the source of the self talk is not credible enough, you can discard that particular belief or that self talk at the source itself. Today, I will tell you about the next step about how to critically examine the belief itself, how to critically examine the self talk itself. We have a lot of beliefs about ourselves, a lot of concepts about ourselves. I'm good at this, I'm not good at that, I succeed at this, I fail at that, and so on and so forth. And we very rarely critically examine these sets of beliefs that we have about ourselves because they are in our own mind, we tend to take them as the truth. But it is very, very important because, as I told you earlier, that in one of my previous videos, I said that our self-talk determines all our decisions, all our actions, and ultimately our fate. So it's very, very important that we critically examine this self-talk on a regular basis. So after you are done examining the origin of the self-talk, the next step is to examine the talk itself. How? Let me illustrate this with the help of a couple of examples. Recently, I was talking to a student, an engineering student, who needed some guidance on how to appear for interviews. And in our initial interactions, he told me a couple of times that whenever I appear for the technical round or whenever I, answer technical questions in the interviews, I always do badly. I always fail. So I asked him to write it down. I said, please write it down. And now look at what you have written. I always fail in the technical round. I said, is it true? Have you actually always failed? Has there been no occasion when you have succeeded? In other words, whatever you have written, is it supported by facts? Is it supported by evidence? Is it supported by all the incidents that have happened in your life? Has there been no incident that will refute it? He thought about it for a while and he realized that he said, yes, if I have failed on 2 or 3 occasions, I have also succeeded on an equal number of occasions. But he was just holding on to that negative self-talk. He was just holding on to that failure in his mind, and that became his self-talk. Similarly, another young man whom I know was not very successful on the relationship front. Somehow he could not, get into a relationship with the girl or the lady of his choice. And so he started believing and telling himself and telling others that women don't like me, I'm not good enough. Now, again, I said, please write down, when you say that women don't like you or girls don't like you, has any girl told you, has any woman told you that she doesn't like you? And really think about it. Have women totally rejected you? Do none of them ever talk to you? He thought about it for a while and he said, you know what? Some of my best friends are women. Some of my best friends are girls. And not only are they my friends, but they respect me, they trust me. And they have often told me that they admire many qualities that I have. But just because he was not able to get into, that romantic or a boyfriend-girlfriend kind of a relationship, he took that failure, held it in his mind, and made it his self-talk. And my dear friends, that's what happens because failure or rejection is so intense. We hold on to it, and in our minds, we blow it out of proportion, and often that becomes our self-talk. That becomes our concept of ourselves. And that's why it is equally important, or rather very, very important, that you should critically examine this, every negative concept, every negative self-talk that you have about yourself on a regular basis. Critically examine it. Ask yourself, is it really true? Am I forcing myself to think that it is true? What is the evidence to support this? Have there been enough number of incidents in my life to reinforce this? But have there also been enough number of incidents to refute it, to go against it? Be very honest and objective with yourself when you do this exercise because, in such matters, we often allow our emotions and our biases and our ego to come into the way. And that takes away a lot of objectivity from this exercise. But if you do this regularly, over a period of time, you will find that many of these negative self-concepts that you have are actually not true. And you're being unnecessarily harsh on yourself. You're being unnecessarily, strict with yourself. Okay? This is again not to say that you don't look at whatever is your genuine shortcomings. While doing this exercise, if you realize that you really have some genuine shortcomings, please work on it. But you will also realize that on many occasions, you have been judging yourself too harshly. Okay? Or, not giving yourself enough benefit of doubt where you actually deserve it. And there is a very good positive side to this whole issue, which for some reason you have been ignoring. Do this consistently. Don't expect any instant gratification. This is something you have to do consistently over a period of time, and you realize that you're able to change a lot of concepts about yourself and improve the quality of your decisions and your life. Start today, and if you need my help, feel free to drop me a message in the comment section. Thank you very much for watching, and remember, be yourself, be positive, and be happy.